there is too much going on in the Superman trailer for me to believe that it's going to be a good movie, right? I know y'all are proud of James Gunn coming to the DCU and he made Guardians of the Galaxy. It's going to be real good. And I believe that some of the elements are going to be good in the movie. But I watched that trailer and they tried to put everything in there. And I knew Crypto was going to be in there. But when I seen Crypto in there, I was like, wow, this is way too much. A white Green Lantern cooked hot girl. Why? And let's be honest with everybody in this conversation. Superman is not going to be the one to save the DCU. It's Batman. It's always been Batman. I don't give a if Superman is the most notable superhero worldwide, right? It's like Michael Jackson. The real savior of music is Kanye West. It's never been Superman. It's always been Batman.
Save it.
I'm out with this. I'm out with the Superman movie already. I'm out.
One, I don't know how it's too much, and we only seen having Crypto. This is a new universe. This is a new adaptation. They're setting the groundwork. They are literally building this world. Who are you to say that they aren't going to have Batman be the savior, but they have to build a groundwork for the DCU, whatever the they want to do? I'm not saying that Superman is going to save the DCU. I agree with that. I will say out of all the Superman movies in my lifetime, this is the first one I've been excited about in terms of live action ones. That's just me. I'm not going to act like I'm the biggest Superman fan. He's my second favorite hero. But in terms of live action movies, I'm not going to act like I just know all of them from like the back of my hand. There could be a better one. Cool. I'm just saying with this one, I'm actually excited for it. I need to know, how was it too much? What did you see? You said it was too many villains. You said it was too many villains in it. It was too many fights.
I never said that.
Too many
I
what?
never said any of that.
You said it was too much.
Why did you put that on me though, right there?
What are you talking? You said it was too much.
Too many, did I say too many villains? Did I say too many villains, B-Souls?
You said too much.
You said too much.
So what is too much? I'm not saying too much what?
So, and I got to pull it up over here on the side. Superman, Crypto, Lois Lane, Mr. Terrific, Green Lantern, Hawk Girl. I said Crypto, Lex Luthor.
Okay.
Those are 7 unique and individual. I said Lex, right?
Yeah, you did.
Make sure. 7. Oh, it's Superman himself. I said Superman, I think, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, you did.
All right, let me just. I'm really trying to make sure I didn't forget nothing. Those are 7 unique and individual people with backstories as to why. Listen, as to why and how they tie in to Superman's story. I'm assuming that this is going to be an origin story. And I don't even think that these things have to take a long time. I just think all of a sudden, oh, Crypto's going to pop in. Hawk Girl comes in for a scene and it's just nothing there after that. Show this glimpse of Mr. Terrific doing something and it's irrelevant in 2 seconds. It almost is reminiscent of like some of the Flash stuff. Because I feel like in the Flash, yeah, they showed something for 2 seconds and then it was like, oh, somebody says it's confirmed not to be an origin story.
I'm saying it's not, you didn't have to wait for it to be confirmed. I could watch the trailer and tell this isn't an origin story.
Now, I understood that. But that was also in my thinking, like, damn, this is a lot for an origin story. But even if it's not confirmed an origin story, I still feel like these are gonna be pop in, pop out, pop in, pop out, pop in, pop out. That's 7 unique things that even if it doesn't have to be explained from an origin perspective, they still have to explain the relevance and how it ties in. I think that's a lot.
You don't even know how many movies this is set up to have, especially with James Gunn directing it. You don't even know how many. He could have 3 movies lined up, and this could be a story unfolding, and you're just building the groundwork. We haven't even seen anything to just assume that niggas is just about to pop in, pop out is crazy. We haven't even seen nothing to do that. Literally, the start of the movie could be him with Crypto, and Crypto is by his side for the majority of the movie. That eliminates that. Counting Lois Lane as one of these characters to me is crazy.
That needs backstory.
She's the bitch that Superman like. There's not much backstory needed. My nigga, like, it's Lois Lane. Like, how much character?
And mind you, and this is again with me being under the assumption that it's an origin story. Even if it's not an origin story, we're jumping into their relationship at a certain point, like they're already in the defined relationship. Is that what we're jumping in?
It could be, and that would be fine because we know that Superman and Lois is together. Every time someone makes an adaptation of a movie, they don't have to start from the beginning and just be, all right, well, we know Spider-Man loves Mary Jane, so let's start the Spider-Man movie off with Peter doing whatever the fuck he's doing. Then he gotta meet Mary and then fall in love, and we know they're gonna be together. So it's fine to have the Spider-Man movie start off and him and Mary are already together. It makes sense.
I get that.
With Superman, Lois Lane.
We're resetting the DCEU. All right, cool. This is Superman. This is the first Superman under the reset DCEU. Oh, okay, cool. Naturally, people would think, okay, what's his rendition of the origin story / what's his rendition of how these characters got linked? Now, mind you, even with this knowledge, I'd still say it's a lot. I don't personally care that they just plop them in there, but I know everybody doesn't know, and that's the reason why they take that perspective. It is still a lot to me. I think I understand what you're saying, Damo. This is gonna be the groundwork for 4 movies, 5 movies, however many movies coming. That's perfectly fine. For the ground level of content that we're about to put out in order to unravel this universe, I feel like introducing these 7 unique pieces of content lore is a lot. And I see the people say, yo, Guardians of the Galaxy was a lot. And James Gunn did a phenomenal job. The first Guardians of the Galaxy was not a lot. It wasn't.
I will say that's one thing I don't like about.
That is not true at all. That is not, naming characters from the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. What?
Guardians of the Galaxy was not a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It was a lot.
Go ahead.
When I first saw it, it was a lot. I ain't gonna
lie. For an origin movie, it literally explained the origins of 4 to 5 characters that came to assemble a team on top of whatever niche side characters that was important to each individual character. Nigga, it wasn't a lot. Are we serious?
This was like post Avengers 2, right? When every single hero had its own storyline, and then they're just gonna come out with a movie with, oh my God, they're already together?
Literally, Peter Quill had side characters that you had to learn to care about. Rocket and Groot were together, cool, and then they end up fleshing out Rocket's backstory, whatever it was. Mantis, cool. I guess she ended up having.
She wasn't in the first one. She wasn't in the first one.
She came in the second one. Sorry. Gamora, she had the connection with her sister and Thanos and all, whatever it was. You had a whole team of people, and the majority of these people had a branching connection of side characters that you actually dove deep into and had some relevance to dive deep into the first movie.
No, that wasn't in the first. I'm telling you, that wasn't the first movie. I'm refreshing this live, even though I looked at it before. The first movie, the most important people that really had backstory in the first movie, Peter, Gamora, the villain. Drax had some backstory, and that was about it. Now, I think the difference between them and what we're talking about now is we're talking about an introduction of a team, which they're not going to fully fledge out everybody having an individual movie on a team, which it's interesting that Rocket even got the movie that he got. They're not going to fully flesh out every single movie or member of a team, specifically Guardians of the Galaxy, this iteration of Guardians of the Galaxy. This was done phenomenally well because they did not sit there and highlight everybody. If niggas is finna tell me they had to introduce Groot, and I know you didn't say that, but I'm saying people that are gonna watch this and be like, oh my, tripping, they had to introduce Gamora, Rocket, and Groot. Me.
But
why couldn't they do that for the new Superman movie? Just introduce people quickly, but keep the main thing the main thing. As long as the main thing is still Superman.
Because I don't think that they're, and I know somebody might make the argument of they are a team. I think that half-ass introducing what's his name, Green Lantern, is like, that's a little crazy.
But so then I would ask, who are we used to being the Green Lantern in the last DCU we just seen? There wasn't one, right?
There wasn't.
They haven't had one. They haven't had a Green Lantern, but based off of what we're seeing, I'm assuming that they're about to do some sort of Justice League that involves Green Lantern. And unless they're about to do him like they did Cyborg, I guess, in the other one. But mind you, I think most of the Justice League movie was Cyborg's origin story. They used the Justice League movie as Cyborg's origin story. Mm-hmm. I find it very weird because I think that we think that Green Lantern is a staple in the Justice League. Them just putting it in there the way they put it in there, I don't expect them to have a huge part of the Superman movie.
Listen, NBA Christmas is around the corner, meaning there's a bunch of NBA games to watch. And I know some of y'all still like hoops. Maybe not all of y'all, but some of y'all.
Jingle bells, 80s bells, briny laid an egg. PrizePicks offers weekly promotions that could really increase those payouts, like Taco Tuesday. PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to add even more value. PrizePicks is real simple, y'all. We've got different sports at the top, and within each different sport, we have a bunch of different categories that you think your favorite player or the player of your choice will perform in. You go in, you click more, you click less, make sure that they're on 2 different teams. You type in how much you want to put on the entry, and then once you're satisfied, you're gonna hit submit lineup, and boom, you're in the game.
Hopefully, I don't get called in my PrizePicks wallet. And shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring this video.
But he might be an important side character because at one point in the movie, it looked like it was fighting what looked like their iteration of Starro, the big ass creature monster in the trailer. I think that was Starro. It could have been someone different. I don't know, but it was some fucking gigantic, what looked like space monster. Green Lantern literally is the nigga who's in the space defense organization. It makes sense for him to be there if a fucking Starro is coming. Now Green Lantern's popping up. And if they're going to have this nigga sprinkled into if they're all going to be sprinkled into each other's movies going forward, this could be a big ass, this makes sense with DC. And I understand everything doesn't have to be completely accurate with the comics or with the animated universe, but with DC, all these niggas are always entangled, whether it's the villains or the heroes, it's always multiple things going on. Like that's just something normal with DC as it is. That's a normal DC staple.
I think that's fair to say. I think that to say that, and we're resetting the DCEU is why I'm like. And again,
why couldn't they introduce Green Lantern the same way Marvel introduced Spider-Man? Like, I think wasn't Spider-Man introduced in Civil War? And then they fleshed out his trilogy. Like, it wasn't, and mind you, this is Spider-Man, like arguably the biggest Marvel hero.
I think the difference is what you just said in your last sentiment.
Well, why they had to do it like that is because didn't they end up getting the rights to be able to use Spider-Man as they were already fleshing? Like, he was kind of thrown in because they got him late, so that could kind of explain why they did it the way they did it with Spider-Man. But to your point, Bezos, it worked. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, even if you knew nothing about rights, it still worked successfully.
That's fine. I think if they had the rights, which they do on the DC side, it wouldn't have been that way. And then also, I think it might be a little bit okay if we're talking about a top 5 superhero.
Well, and people in the chat are saying that's not the main Green Lantern, which if that's the case, this isn't even the main Green Lantern or the one from Earth that we are used to knowing. That makes it even better because again, in DC, Green Lanterns pop up. There's a ton of Green Lanterns.
And
if you have a space threat, a Green Lantern will pop up. It makes sense for a Green Lantern to pop up. It makes perfect sense to me. Like, I don't know.
My response, and we don't have to keep harping on that. My response then would be, are we about to explain the complexities of the Lantern Corps in this movie, or are we about to give Green Lantern his own independent movie to explain the complexities of the Lantern Corps? And if you're going to give Green Lantern your own movie, hey, you got an uphill battle. They're saying the main 2 Lanterns are getting the show. And I'm going to stop reading chat. The main 2 Lanterns are getting the show. And then that also makes me double down on how I feel about you got to watch the show in order to understand what's going on in the movies. The shit that Marvel was doing towards the end, I hate it even more.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say earlier. I don't like this thing that like superhero movies are doing, or really just any movie is doing, where they like the story is told in a way where you need to know so much background information when this is like you're trying to watch it to learn about shit. Like that is something annoying, and I hope they don't do that with the Superman movie.
And let me say this real quick, because they deliver it so beautifully in in Batman. They deliver it so beautifully in Batman. I just don't understand why they feel like they have to do this in Spider-Man, if that makes sense. Or not Spider-Man, damn, Superman.
Because they have to do something different with Superman because, at least to my opinion, they've tried. I'm not even going to say they tried to do something similar with the previous Superman movies, like they did with Batman movies, and it just didn't work out. It's just different. In my opinion, I feel like they all should. All the superhero movies, their solo movies should be unique to them. So the way they do the Batman movies should be how they do the Batman movies, and that's why it works, because that's how they do the Batman movies. But if they're going to do the Superman movies like this, cool. Let's just see if it's good first. I mean, I don't want to just sit here and judge everything without at least seeing a product. Because if they pull it off, then what are we going to be talking? Then this is useless. Like it was nothing to be worried about if they pull it off. Now, if it sucks, we can have a conversation.
Well,
I'm excited, man. I see an attempt to try something different when the last iteration of telling Superman was not that good, or at least like it was controversial. So
relative to when it was, I think it was pretty good. We're talking about Henry Cavill. Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of something else.
How do y'all feel about everyone saying that the Henry Cavill movies are not like, that is the true version of Superman movies? Is that not revisionist history? Because
it is revisionist history. I'm about to say, nigga, I was outside. Nigga, I was outside when they was making these shits.
Mm-hmm.
The streets was not talking about these Superman movies like they were crack for real. Like very niche Superman fans liked it. The casuals, that shit boring. Like casual superhero fans watch that shit and throw X-Men on. This shit's ass.
Throw X-Men on. This shit is ass. I think also if you look at the state of like superhero movies at the time as opposed to comparing them to today, and I think that's what people be doing sometimes. It's like I don't know. They're doing too much. I want to address these two before we move on. The Batman movie wasn't even an origin story. Nobody said it was, and then. This person, just Reggie. Batman is literally the same thing as Superman, though. They introduced how many characters? Relevant characters? The Penguin, Batman, Catwoman, and Falcone. Falcone dies. Oh, my bad. I forgot the Riddler was in there. Batman, Penguin, Falcone, Riddler, Catwoman.
So that's 5 characters, 5 important characters.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, fleshed it out beautifully.
So how do we know that it's not really just 3 to 4 important characters in this movie? Just because you seen niggas, you know, like you seen Hawk Girl, maybe Hawk Girl flying and smack a nigga, but if there's only 4 main characters and they flesh it out perfectly, and then the side characters can come in how Yondu did on the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, because I wouldn't think that you had a problem with Yondu or the Raiders in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, did you?
No.
Crypto on your list too.
There we go.
I did have Crypto on the list.
He counted the dog.
I think that there's because it just that's
no backstory.
No, I think
flesh his character out. Roof.
Oh, we don't know Baltimore.
No. It's not even that. I think the other thing, and I promise you we're gonna move on. I think another thing that makes me, and here we go. There we go. Falcon is not that big in the thing, but I think a thing that also made me question it is like the concept of the Lantern Corps. I think the Lantern Corps is its own unique concept that should really take some time to flesh out. But also, the disdain between like Lex Luthor and Superman, that's a movie. That's a whole movie. That's a movie. So I don't understand how we're showing this concept in.
How do you know that this isn't what this movie is? Literally what Lex does is manipulate situations to put Superman in to make him look like the good guy in terms of the people of Earth. So watching all these different entities fighting Superman in this trailer, and seeing Lex being involved, how do we know Lex isn't manipulating some big ass space monster, some big ass Gigantor, some fucking I don't even know who the nigga he was fighting was. I didn't think that was Mr. Terrific. I thought that was like fucking Zod. I'm like, what if Lex is manipulating all this and this is still Superman versus Lex?
Let me ask you this, and we're gonna move on. I promise you we're gonna move on. In the Batman movie that just came out with Robert Pattinson, where do you think that they could have established and explained the Flash and the Speed Force?
I have no idea because I don't like Batman. I didn't watch the movie.
Oh, all right. Let's move on.
That's why I haven't spoken on Batman movies. Like,
okay.
Say what you say. I don't know, but
yeah.